Welcome to VLearn Virtual Learning Network. This is session number 1 of Personnel Administration and the topic is Concept, Nature and Scope of Personnel Administration. Topics to be covered are Introduction, Concept of Personnel Administration, Evaluation and Development of Personnel Administration, Scope of Personnel Administration, and the last one is Conclusion. Now come to the introduction that people of a country are important asset for it. So in the case with organization, the successful functioning of an organization depends on its manpower and quality of leadership. The manpower by itself does not contribute to the development of an organization. It has to be converted into human resource through systematic planning, adequate training and proper education. Without the growth of human resource called the human capital, goals and objective of an organization can never be achieved. Human capital can be defined as the sum total of knowledge, skills and aptitude of the people in a society. Development of human resources poses a major challenge for the developing countries like India. Manpower planning is an important tool for developing human resource, and investment in a manpower planning, whether made by government or a private organization, belong to the individual and do not depreciate. In fact, they increase with the passage of time. Thus, human resources are an important part of the total resources of an organization. Through financial resources, physical resources, technological resources are also very important. It is the human resource which are most vital as they generate other resources. So adequate utilization of human resource would automatically lead to optimum utilization of financial, physical and technological resources. No organization can achieve the desired goals without effective management of all its resources, but human capital is the most essential element of an organization. A personnel administration deals with the management of human resource. The study of its concept, nature, scope and development assumes importance. These aspects will be highlighted in this session. Concept of personnel administration. The tasks of government are increasingly everyday. Development and welfare organizations have led to the expansion of government and its administrative machineries. As the tasks, responsibilities and activities of organizations, whether public or private, multiply, the demands on personnel at every level in terms of efficient discharge of their duties also rise. The task of personnel administration is to assure a steady source of people who can contribute to the success of an organization and meet the growing demand of development. To understand the concept of personnel administration, it is very essential to first understand the meaning and nature of the term. Now, personnel administration meaning. Personnel administration is that part of administration which is concerned with people at work and with their relationship within the organization. It refers to the entire spectrum of an organization's interaction with its human resource from recruitment activity to retirement process. It involves personnel planning and forecasting, appraising human performance, selecting and staffing, training and development and maintenance of improvement of performance and productivity. Personnel administration is closely related to the organization's overall effectiveness. There is no standard definition of the term personnel administration, still there widespread unanimity among writers on this meaning. Scope and purpose. According to Filippo, personnel functions is concerned with the procurement, development, compensation, integration and maintenance of personnel of an organization in the purpose of contributing towards the accomplishment of the organization main goals and objectives. Delhi Order uses the term manpower management instead of personnel management and includes both labor relation and personnel administration within its ambit. According to Michael, defines administration as a field of management which has to do with planning, organizing and controlling various operative functions of procuring, developing and maintaining or utilizing a labor force such that the objective for which the company is established are attained economically and effectively. Objectives of all level of personnel are served to the highest possible degree. Objectives of the community are duly considered and served. Personnel management is concerned with the development of policies governing manpower planning, recruitment, selection, placement and termination. education and training, career development, terms of employment, methods and standards of remuneration, working condition and employee services, formal and informal communication and consulting both through the representatives of employers and employees and at all levels throughout the organization. Personnel administration is variously known as personnel management, labor relations, manpower management, labor welfare management, etc. Personnel administration cannot a wider terms meaning and it includes both personnel management and industrial relations. The term labor relations refers primarily to the relation between management and organized labor. It includes negotiations of contracts and unions. It deals with handling of differences with unions and business agents. Personnel administration aims at effective utilization of human resources, desirable working relations among all members of the organization, maximum development, meeting the organization's social and legal responsibilities. According to Michael J. Jaques, personnel management should aim at attaining economically and effectively the organizational goals, serving to the highest possible degree of individual goals, preserving and advancing the general welfare of the community. Now, nature of personnel administration. Personnel function is crucial in any administrative organization. The organization cannot afford to ignore it. Hence, it becomes a basic responsibility of the management to be in the government or in semi or non-government organizations. The change in the socio-economic environment has its effect on management. The management environment keeps changing due to the changes that occurs in the total socio-economic environment. The political environment also affect the work environment in an organization. Such changes get reflected in personnel administration, and these changes can be changing mix of the personnel entering government service organization, changing values of personnels, increasing expectation of the government from their employees, and the last one is increasing expectation of the people from the government at different levels. Thus, management is affected by the changes in the social, economic and political scenario. In fact, it has to keep up with these changes. That is, a higher number from scheduled caste, tribes and other economically backward classes are joined the government services. A greater number of people with higher education, more women, more technically skilled workers are also joined the government service. This has really changed the ratio of working force with the proliferation of activities under development in welfare programs. The employees are not expected to be more competent and efficient. People at large expect the administration to be efficient, effective and sympathetic. People's involvement in administrative activities is increasing. Due to the constant demand on administration, the role of personnel administration is also changing. Personnel are required to perform line and staff function. Activities directly related to the primary objective of an organization are called as line functions. Staff functions are those functions which facilitate and assist the performance of line work. They are in the nature of secondary activities and enhance the effectiveness of the line agencies. For example, assistance in processing and supplying the required number of personnel and training and development of personnel are essentially functions. An organization cannot function without the assistance of line and staff personnel. At the same time, personnel function cannot be isolated from the rest of the administrative functions. Personnel functions include both line and staff activities in an organization. Personnel administration does not always function in a formal organization. No organization can solely run on the basis of formal rules and regulation. It comprises human beings who are structured in an authority and responsibility network in order to carry out the tasks and activities for the fulfillment of organizational objectives. The formal structure is supplemented, supported or sometimes obstructed and on occasions taken over by the informal organization. Informal organizations grow within the formal organization. It is a natural phenomena and is based on social and cultural relations among the personnel of formal groups. Political, economic, psychological factors also contribute to the growth of informal organizations. The function of personal administration are becoming more complicated day by day. The problems of personal administration differ from one organization to other. Big organizations have more tasks to perform, they employ more people and serve varied objectives. The task of personal administration is such organizations become more intricate. As personal administration deals with human beings all the time, the crucial functions of motivation and morale of employees have to be performed by it. It has to meet the growing needs of the people as well as satisfy the increasing expectation of its employees. Evaluation and development of personal administration. While the evaluation and development of personal administration in UK and US was largely voluntary, in India, the growth of personal administration can be attributed to the efforts made by the government. While in the West, the pioneering work in the field of personal management was motivated by the managerial preoccupation with the concept of welfare. In India, unsystematic recruitment practices, growing labor unrest, loss of production, etc. initiated some interest in personal management. In UK, personal administration had its origin in the concept of welfare as propounded and practiced by some of the enlightened entrepreneurs who sought the establishment of modern personal administration. The term personal management actually originated in the USA. It was F.W. Taylor's scientific management which laid the foundation for the development of personal administration. Taylor laid emphasis on scientific selection and systematic training and development of the individual's work. H.L. Gant, a close associate of Taylor in scientific management movements, foresaw the need for obtaining the willing cooperation of workers. The pioneer of scientific management, apart from increasing efficiency, aimed at fighting fatigue and monotony among the workers. He maintained that it was not enough to tell the workers how to do a job, but it was also necessary to promote the ability and willingness to do a job. Mary Parker's Follett also laid stress on training and development aspects of management. Most important breakthrough for personal administration was Elton Mayon's. These experiments paved the way for using the disciplines of sociology, psychology, industrial organization behaviors and influencing them through a motivational approach. The labor shortage during the World War and various labor problems posed a challenge to management. With the Great Depression in 1929, big business suffered several setbacks. The state, the public and the trade unions aimed at efficient professional management. Their demand were eliminated of waste and maximum utilization of resources, particularly human resources. The history of evaluation and growth of personal management in our country is not very old. It was Royal Commission of Labour which recommended in 1931 the appointments of labour officers to deal with the recruitment of labour to settle their grievances. The industrial dispute of 1920s forced the government and businessmen to think in terms of labor problems and promotion of personal management. The recognition of trade union in India gave a new perspective to the employer and employee relationship. Entrepreneurs like Tata's, Calico Mills, British Indian Corporation, etc. had appointed welfare officers as early as 1920. The labor welfare officers performed the functions of redressals of employees' grievances and promotion of industrial harmony. In 1937 in Bengal, on the suggestion of the government, the Indian Jute Mills Owners Association appointed labor officers to bring about a settlement of employees' grievances with the mills, and by 1939, 5 more labor officers were appointed. In 1941, the Government of India initiated the Tripartite Labor Conference with the representatives of government, labor and employees in order to promote uniform labor legislation, determine the procedure to settle industrial disputes, and promote consultations on industrial matters affecting the country. Scope of personal administration. Personal administration incorporates all aspects of management of persons in organization. The primary objectives of personal administration, as we have read earlier in this session, is to ensure effective utilization of human resource in pursuit of organizational goals. The Personal Administration Department should design and establish an effective working relationship among all the members of an organization by division of organizational tasks into jobs, defining clearly the responsibility and authority for each job and its relation with other jobs in the organization. Personal administration must try to ensure among the employees feeling of commitment, involvement and loyalty to the organization. The aim is to establish cordial relations among the employees and do away with frictional situations arises out of personal jealousies, rivalries and prejudices. Personal administration also has a crumb unfavorable practices like favoritism and nepotism in an organization. Personal administration has a concentrate on various aspects of management like recruitment, training, promotion, condition and of service, employees welfare, employer-employee relations and processes of moral and motivation. It has to develop links with intermediate and external environment to make itself effective and efficient. As the task of organization increase, the responsibility of personal administration also increase accordingly. It is not possible to solve the problem with a one-time and one-stroke decision. Larger the system, more are complexities. Tasks take for example, the Government of India is divided into ministries, departments, divisions and units, etc. It is spread over the entire length and breadth of the country. Lakhs of people work in it. They operate at different hierarchical levels and carry out a large variety of functions. A number of service and their division into groups constitute the entire workforce of the central government. Among similar is the situation in each state. Personal administration has a cater to all these aspects. It requires continuous managerial inputs. Planning and providing for a regular supply of the needed manpower for different positions and in different number is an important task of the government. The process of recruitment and utilization of each micro unit of human resource calls for effective personal administration. Similarly, creating and maintaining desirable working relationship also call for a series of continuous efforts on the part of the personals. Employer-employee relations, provisions for joint consultative machinery, establishment of public service tribunals for adjudication, adoption of welfare measures and payments of retirement benefits, etc. to the employees are the added responsibilities of personal administration. Trade unionism among government employees has increased during the past few decades. Both employer and employee unions have come up. Now conclusion, personal administration with its ever increasing responsibilities has becoming an undesirable part of management. There is a need for making personal administration responsible for bringing about innovative changes in the structure of organization, undertaking personal research and conducting attitude surveys. There is also a need for making personal administration accountable for formulating cost-effective policies and programs and establishing positive relationship between the organization and environment. Now, there are some questions on the basis of this session. First one is discuss the nature of personal administration and second one is discuss the scope of personal administration. Thank you. That's all for this session. Happy learning, we learning.